Wow, that ended up being a bit more wild than expected. Sheesh. Final Lightning win, 7-4. However it gets done, it gets done. That's all that matters. This game, Tompkins versus Primo. Johansson injured, so Tompkins gets called up. Obviously, Vasilevsky played last night against the Leafs. Tonight, the backup plays, and it is Tompkins. And going into the game, I was like, don't know how confident I am with Tompkins, just being called up and having to make a start right then and there. But you got it. I got to eat my words, eat my thoughts. Tompkins put under a lot of pressure tonight by Montreal, and he held it down. He did enough for the Lightning to win, and the offense showed up tonight to help him out get the victory. This is funny because actually Tompkins' last win as an NHL starter was there against Montreal, so maybe he likes playing Montreal. I don't know. Another thing to note, the fight that this team had, the energy that this team had tonight, obviously second of a back-to-back, like I said. Last night against the Leafs, that was playoff hockey. They had 56 hits last night. That's the most amount of hits any game this entire season. Play the next day against Montreal. Not a playoff team, but back-to-back game on the road. Never easy, and you put up 7 goals. Recapping the game here, Armia opened up the scoring early for the Canadiens. This was on a rebound, and Tompkins just wasn't able to get to it. Armia was in the right place at the right time. Finishes it. Newhook ended up just going at Stammer for some reason, like from the middle of the ice all the way down to the front of the goal, just shove. Stamkos, you don't see the captain get that irritated that often, but he went back at Newhook, and Cirelli tries to come to the rescue. Then he gets double teamed from behind by 2 Montreal players, and that all of that, this big scrum, ends up in a Lightning power play. And for most of that power play, the Lightning honestly did not look that great, but Nick Paul, talk about going to the right place at the right time, skating in front of the net, and the puck is there, puts it in the back of the net. Game's tied at 1. After that, the Bolts have to kill off a Montreal power play. They are able to do that, and shout out to Tyler Mott for this play. He is able to get on the back check and take the puck off Gallagher's stick. Mott's stick goes flying. Who knows where that thing landed. Regardless, AC Mott gets the puck, goes flying down the ice, and is able to score past Primo and put the Lightning up 2-1. Anytime you get to see Gallagher irritated like that, get the puck taken off his stick, he tries to get back down the ice. Sorry, bud. 2-1 Lightning. And Primo just got a great shower there, too. Great snow shower. And through that first period, I would say, honestly, Montreal had most of the momentum during it, but towards the end there, the Lightning were able to put some pressure on, obviously going up 2-1, and I'd say they took that momentum going into that second period. So to start that second, Armia does get his second goal of the game. This one was a pretty nice shot. That ties the game at 2, but after that, the Lightning just went in. Everything they were putting on net going in the back of the net. Stamkos' goal. This is a one-timer that comes from Cirelli and DeHaan, and that puts the Lightning up 3-2. Not too much later, Nick Paul with another great shot. He had a great shot last night against the Maple Leafs. Carries that over. Great shot here tonight against the Canadiens. 4-2. Next up in action was Brandon Hagel. He has a huge slap shot from about 43 feet away. That goes right over Primo's right shoulder. That makes it 5-2. It doesn't stop. Matheson trips Cooch. Cooch was in on goal. Trip there, power play, and very fitting. Guess who scores the goal? Nikita Kucherov. Braden Point is able to find him. Primo's trying to slide to Cooch's side of the ice. He's able to put a nice little side-to-side movement there, but great shot by Cooch is able to put it over the top of Primo, and that's 6-2, just like that. That second period was wow. And then the cherry on top, obviously in the moment, the cherry on top, Hedman ends up bleeding due to a high stick, so that is a double minor. And after that second period, you're like, yeah, this one's wrapped up. They kept showing Marty St. Louis on the broadcast, and he just did not look thrilled about the situation that he was in, and it felt great. I thought the game was pretty much locked down there. So going into the third, the Lightning are not able to score on that double minor and actually end up committing a penalty of their own. They do kill that off, but this is kind of where the momentum turns into Montreal's favor. Slavkovsky, I always butcher that guy's name, ends up tipping a puck in, and that makes it 6-3. Even then, I was like, okay, because they score the goal and the Lightning go down the ice and Duclair has a really good chance, but that gets blocked by a defender. So you're like, okay, the Lightning they're still here. We don't have to worry. But right after that happens, there's another goal. Caulfield with a snapshot past Tompkins, and it's now 6-4. So full momentum is on Montreal's side. The building was rocking. You can hear it through the broadcast. Montreal was loud. Team was moving. And you're like, okay, let's reel it in. Let's reel it in. And that's not exactly what happens. Hagel goes down. Pretty concerning. He was down for a long time, hit by his own teammate. I'm going to assume that AC Mont thought it was one of the Montreal players that knocked him down like that, because he goes after one of them, and there's just a lot of pushing, a lot of shoving, another scrum, but this time it ends up with Montreal getting the power play, not the Lightning like earlier in the game between Newhook and Stammer. They are able to, thankfully, kill off that penalty. There was pressure. There was a lot of pressure there. Tompkins made some really good saves. Like I said at the beginning of this video, you got to give Tompkins his props, being able to come up to the NHL level and slot right into this second game of back-to-back. High pressure scenario. Even though it's a 2-goal difference still at this point with the momentum that Montreal had, if you give up a goal on that power play and then when Montreal pulls their goalie, they only need 1 instead of 2. Whew. Yeah, that's not easy. Like I said, thankfully they kill it off, and Montreal does pull Primo with about 5 minutes left in the game. They do bring him out about halfway through that because of a face-off, but he gets pulled pretty much right away again. Bunch of pressure, a lot of time in the Lightning zone, but eventually Kucherov gets it to Stamkos, and as Stamkos is falling down, shoots it into the empty net. That makes it 7-4, and that's the final score. Thank goodness the Lightning find a way to keep it at 2 points, because after that second period, like I said, I was confident, I was comfortable. About 15 minutes into that third period, I still had confidence they would pull it out because it was still a 2-goal lead, but comfortable? No, was not comfortable. Here is the deserve to win-o-meter for tonight's game. I will say I checked this after the second period, and it was at about 78-80% for the Lightning. So that third period from Montreal, all that momentum I'm talking about, yeah, they put it on us. They sure did. Here are the opportunities, the shot chart. You see these huge chances for the Lightning. Those are some giant blue circles, and then Montreal all over Tompkins tonight. Look at where these chances are coming from, right in here. You gotta give the guys props. Looking at some games around the NHL, the Islanders win 4-2. Obviously, big wild card race there. Massive game. I didn't think I was going to be saying this with the Pittsburgh Penguins, but beating the Capitals 4-1, I think that only puts them about that they might have 1 point difference between those two teams now. If Pittsburgh somehow finds a way to get back in this and make the playoffs, oh boy, people are going to love that. And yes, I was correct there. So here are those standings. Lightning. Did the Maple Leafs play tonight? I don't think they did. No, they did not. So the Lightning are now 2 points behind the Maple Leafs. Obviously, the Maple Leafs not playing tonight have a game in hand, so they can bump that up to 4. But who knows? Behind us is the New York Islanders. 76 games played, 83 points, so there's a 10-point difference there. Really not worried at all about who's behind us anymore, but it is entertaining because of how close that race is. You just look down the line here. 93, obviously us. 83, 82, 82, 81. That's going to be very entertaining going down the stretch. Any games that these teams play against each other, they're going to be fun. And Penguins and Capitals probably was a really good one tonight. And speaking of those Penguins, we do play them next Saturday at 1 o'clock, so a nice little matinee game. I'm sure Capitals, Red Wings, Islanders, all of those fan bases will be rooting for us heavily. So that's going to be it for me. Thank you guys so much for watching. Comment your thoughts on tonight's game down below. It was a wild one, 7-4. You don't see that final score too often. Thank you guys so much for watching. Please like, subscribe, and go Bolts.